Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Raeann, but you can call me Ray. I am so excited for this video. I can't even contain it. I was just so excited for this collection. If you don't know what this is yet, or I guess you do because of the title, this is the most recent collab with JKissa and e.l.f. I love JKissa. She is probably one of my favorite YouTubers. I feel like I can say that pretty confidently. I just like her approach to makeup. She's just very unique in general, and I love the looks that she does, and yeah, probably one of my favorites. And e.l.f. is also one of my favorite makeup brands, so I was super excited to see that they were doing a collab again. They did one last year, and I didn't purchase anything from that last year, and I kind of wish I did. So I knew once they were doing a second collab that I was going to buy it, and then once I realized it was rainbow, I was like, of course I was going to buy it, but it made me even more excited. And also, the coolest thing about this collection is that proceeds are getting donated to, I believe it's like a shelter in LA. I don't know if it's specific to pit bulls. I think it is. I think it's like Angel City Pits. I think that's what it's called. I love pit bulls. I don't know if you guys knew this. You probably did, but I have a senior pit bull. She's turning 13 this year. I love her more than anything, and she's the greatest thing to ever happen to me. I love pit bulls. I love her. I just love the breed of dog. I want like 50 pit bulls. To be honest, I just love them so much. Their personalities, you just can't, no other breed of dog matches their spunkiness and their energy, and they are just so loving and so adorable, and I love them so much. So of course that was an extra incentive to buying this collection, because they did do a donation up to I think they capped it to 25,000, I think is what it was. But very cool. I love supporting shelters, and especially any rescues that are specific to pit bulls. They just have my heart. I mean, any rescue in general I support and I love so much. I definitely believe that you should rescue, adopt, don't shop. Come on, people, seriously. Anyways, super excited about this. I forget how much everything cost. So the palette, I believe, was $20 and came with 18 shadows. I think that's what it is. Okay, yeah, so it's 18 shades in this palette for $20. The palette comes with a bunch of stickers, and then you can put it on the front if you would like, which is exactly what I did. And then I put Sophie's name right there. That's my pit bull, because I thought that would be really cute. So these stickers are JKissa's dogs. I believe this is Zuma, and then Suki, which is her first dog that she adopted, and this is the younger puppy. I just thought this was really cute, super fun. I spent 10 minutes decorating this, and then I forgot I had other stickers, so I put those ones on the back because I wanted to use them still. But yeah, super cute. I like that they did the stickers. It was really fun, and I enjoyed doing that. It's very unique too. I don't think I've ever had any palette or collab that's done something like that, so it was really fun, and I appreciate that. So these are the shades. So super gorgeous rainbow palette, this giant mirror, which I love. I got my fingerprints all over it, but still super cute. Don't want to blind you guys anymore with my light though. But yeah, so they have a row of lighter matte in a rainbow, darker matte, and then the shimmers, which is pretty cool. I was just super excited because I love e.l.f. and I was excited that they had a rainbow palette coming out, and just how many times am I going to say I was excited? Okay, I was just so excited. These are the brushes that are in the collection as well. So cute. These are probably the coolest looking brushes I own. They are the coolest brushes I own, honestly. I was gonna use them in this video, and I totally spaced out and forgot, so I'm sorry I don't have a review for these. I used one of them, and I really don't have a full thought on how I feel about these since I didn't use all of them. That was my intentions originally, but I didn't do that, and I'm so sorry, but I did buy them, and I want to show you guys how beautiful they are. And the same thing with this little topper thing right here. I use that in my inner corner, but we're gonna get to that later. But this is pretty cool. Has an applicator like that on both sides, a dual-ended sort of thingamajig. I don't know where I'm going with that. I didn't do swatches in this video, and I'm sorry, I normally do, but I feel like this palette has been all over YouTube, and I'm sure if you guys were interested in this palette, you already have seen the swatches. So yes, we're basically just doing this look today, which is a pretty fun rainbow look, and then I'm going to talk about how I'm feeling about the palette so far, So yeah, if you guys want to know how I feel about the palette and, well, you know, so far at least, and you want to know how I got this look, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so my hair is a little crazy and I have a little fan guy on, so is that a weird thing to call a fan? Anyways, I don't know how loud it's gonna be. I have a feeling it might be kind of loud, so if it is, I'm probably just going to cut majority of the sound out so you don't hear it like humming, but it's hot, like super hot in here, especially with the light on, and it's like a million degrees outside right now, so I am trying my best not to literally sweat all my makeup off. Yeah, so the fan's gonna stay on. Hopefully it's not too distracting. I will try my best to edit it out or whatever, but yes, so acknowledging it, no idea what it's gonna sound like. Let's go ahead and do this look. So of course I was gonna go with a rainbow look. I mean, why wouldn't I? I was thinking of doing like, you know, the cool tones on one eye and then the warm tones on the other and doing like a full like rainbow gradient, but I actually decided to do just a full rainbow look. So I mean, why not? We have a rainbow palette, we want to see if it's any good, so that's kind of the easiest way of doing that, is trying to play with as many colors as we can. So let's go ahead, and my hair is a mess. I tried to do a cute little messy bun and that's just kind of what it looked like. One of those days where like you try to fix it and it just doesn't get any better for some reason, so my hair is a little crazy. I'm apologizing for it. I don't know why, but anyways. So let's go ahead and start with the shade Peaky, with this shade here. I'm going to try not to talk too much just in case the fan is very loud. That way I don't have to like cut out me talking or anything like that. But I am going to do a like cut crease. So we're going to focus the green in first, go to blue, and then go to purple. So the blue shade we're going to go into is the shade right next to it, so Cannoli. So this shade right here. And yes, my nails are pretty damaged. I'm just going to go ahead and just admit it. So we're just going to really blend in the blue and the green together. And then the blue is going to go into the purple shade that's next to it. So the purple shade that's next to it is Sadie, so we're going to go into this shade. And then after I go into Sadie, I'm actually going to go into this shade right here. Don't remember what it's called. And that'll just be to deepen up Sadie just a little bit. Into that darker purple shade, which is called Pretty Girl. That is what I call Sophie all the time. I call her Pretty Girl, and then sometimes I call her Pity Girl. Okay, so from here I'm actually going to cut out my crease, which isn't something I really do that often anymore, but I felt like it was going to be a little bit more helpful to do that with this look versus just using a glitter primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease out off camera, and then I will be back. Basically, we're gonna go into the shade Firefly, and then this shade, which I think is Suki, yes, which is one of JKissa's dogs, and then Strawberry, which is this one here. So I'm gonna go in with the yellow one, the orange one, and then the red one, and then just do like a gradient. And I will say, you absolutely, or I absolutely at least, needed to wet my brush to use these shades. Like, that was the only way I basically got them to work well, was to wet my brush. Shade, which her dogs look so cute, by the way. I mean, I know I'm like a little biased because I love pit bulls, but I literally just want to meet her dogs. Like, It's like with any like account that I follow that has really cute dogs. Like I follow a lot of just like pitbull pages basically, and like every single one of them I'm like, I want to meet your dog. I want to pet your dog. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if I followed more pitbull accounts than I do like makeup brands. I know it's not actually true, but like if that happened one day, I would not be surprised like at all. Okay, so one thing that I totally forgot, which by the way, I totally have the brushes from this collection and I was gonna use them in this video and I didn't. That wasn't necessarily planned at all. I was gonna use the brushes and yeah, for some reason I put them with like, usually when I have new stuff that I'm filming with, I kind of leave it out and that way I like have everything and I remember that I'm gonna use them. Yeah, the brushes somehow got mixed in with my other brushes and I totally forgot to use them for this video, which now that I say that, I'm going to use it. At least this one here. But yeah, I have the brushes. I am not going to be including them in the review because I totally forgot about them, but I did get them if anybody wanted to know. And my intentions were to use them in this video and I did not. Okay, so what I forgot is I totally needed to add one of the orange shades before I tried to do that like shimmery shade because it just was not popping enough. It just, nothing was happening. So I had to go into Zuma and then Suki, and then that kind of helped a little bit, but I really wasn't getting what I wanted out of that shade. So just layering them to get a more vibrant look. I guess that's not really sitting that well, but I've kind of had a interesting experience with this palette so far. So we will talk about that very, very shortly. I'm basically going to do the same thing with the red shade. So I'm going to go into the shade Pepper, which is actually, I'm going to go in with Casey, which I believe is what I did last time. So I'm going to go in with Casey, which is the like lighter red matte shade, and then Strawberry on top. And same thing, I basically just felt like I wasn't getting enough. So I am not sure if these are just topper shades and I just didn't realize it or what's going on, but I should probably look into that and see why I'm having that issue. But anyways, I'm gonna just layer it with Strawberry, and let me actually take a wet brush. Just damp it a little bit. Don't want to do too much because I think that's why I'm having like a separation issue with the red or the orange shade, but the show must go on. So this is basically the gist of the look. I did attempt, so I don't know if my eyes were just getting too watery or what, but I started something else underneath for the under part of my eye and it didn't work, and I didn't like the way that it looked, so I went to wipe it off and then I went to just do like the purple underneath, and for some reason I could not get the purple to like stay. It was really weird, like just one of the purple matte shades. So I'm gonna try to do that on both sides. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and then we're gonna talk about everything for a little bit, and I also need to fix this part here, but anyways, I will be back. I look like a tropical bird. Okay, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and get closer. Okay, so this is the first time that I've ever used this palette, so this is just my thoughts on my experience with this look right now, how everything worked like this very moment. That's a song. Anyways, so far I feel a little let down by this palette, and I'm gonna say some of the shades, some of the matte shades, especially the purple shades, like right in here, I don't know if you guys can see that super well, but for some reason it wasn't building up very well and it turned out to be a little bit patchy. The other matte shades kind of felt like they were applying a little patchy, but I felt like they were a little easier to work with, but the purple shades, for some reason, I was having a little more of an issue with. So it'll be interesting to see if different bases and primers help that at all, or if they're just kind of more on the patchy side and you know it's just part of the shadow or what it is. But yeah, especially this outer part, like I was having a very hard time building up the color. It does seem very see-through and patchy in here, which isn't the greatest thing in the whole entire world. I kept kind of wanting to reach for other purples because I just love rainbow looks, and I really wanted this look to work. And of course, I'm only using this palette, so why would I pull from another palette? But I just had this urge to be like, I want to fix this. Like, why does this look like that? So yes, that shade's a little bit patchy. I felt like the other shades were applying it a little bit patchy too, but I felt like they were a little bit easier to work with than the purple shade was. So patchiness is kind of an issue with the matte shades. I'm interested to see if any other techniques or primers will help with that, because I mean that's kind of a bummer. Sometimes patchiness can be like you can work with it, so but those purple shades, they were kind of like a little more difficult than the other ones. And so the next thing that I wanted to do, and I actually wanted to look this up, was, hold on. Okay, so basically the Shimmer Shades, I did actually look at this just now, and it said to apply with a damp brush to get like a metallic effect. So I don't know, but it almost feels like these shimmer shadows that's the only way to apply them, and that's kind of the way, like I kind of figured that out. Like I wasn't able to apply them and have them look good without applying them wet, so I don't necessarily like that, because I kind of just want to be able to do it without, like usually when you have a shimmer shadow, like it should be amazing like without having to dampen your brush, and then when you dampen the brush, then it's like crazy amazing, you know? Like that's what I like out of a shimmer shadow. And this one, it just, after reading the description of it, it kind of seems like they wanted you to do it with a damp brush, which isn't something I realized until filming this, but I kind of figured that out on my own, that they weren't applying with my finger, they weren't applying very well with the brush, and you know I just needed to wet the brush and then go from there. In some cases I even needed to kind of apply them as if they were a topper, which I don't like. Like I want them to be pigmented shimmers, like bam, in your face, especially for a rainbow palette, and I feel like I wasn't getting that here. So of course, knowing what I do know now, I feel like maybe it'll be a little bit easier to use this palette the next time. But for the first impression, I was just kind of like, wasn't super impressed, to be completely honest. And I wanted to love this palette. I saw this and I freaked out. Like I knew I needed it. There was no stopping me from getting it. I love JKissa. I love e.l.f. e.l.f. is probably one of my favorite makeup brands in general, not even just specific to drugstore. So far I'm feeling like okay with this palette. I feel like in the long run it could be something I could work with, but it isn't necessarily going to be my first rainbow palette that I reach towards. Like I might have better, like I definitely have better shadows in my collection to do a rainbow look, and it's kind of a bummer because sometimes they're not in just one palette, and this is one palette, rainbow beautifulness, and I feel like I don't know if I'll be reaching for this specifically the next time I want to do a rainbow look. Of course, I want to keep using it. I want to play around with it. Now that I know that you have to apply with a damp brush, I feel like my next application will be a lot different. So I definitely want to like this palette, but so far I'm not super impressed, and that bums me out because, like I said, I love JKissa and I love e.l.f. and e.l.f.'s palettes and their formula have been so good, like especially recently with those like mini palettes, that I thought for sure this palette was going to be absolutely like amazing. And yes, the color story, being a rainbow palette, it's gorgeous. I like how they have the lighter tone shades, the darker tone shades, and then like the shimmers. But again, this is just going to be something I'm going to have to play with and see what I can get out of it, like what the potential I can get out of this palette is going to be, and if it's going to be a palette that I am going to want to keep using more often. And I'm just going to have to go from there. But, you know, overall, that's just kind of how I feel about the palette so far. I'm not super impressed. I want to love it, so I'm going to force myself to keep using it because I am determined. Like I said, now that I know how everything is kind of like performing. Maybe I can still use it and get some good use out of it. I just know like different techniques to use from now on. The other thing I wanted to say is I always use the glitter primer, and I used it this time and not even that helped. So I guess these shadows really are meant to be just applied with a damp brush, and you know, yeah, that's just kind of my feeling on that. Like, I wish that they didn't have to be applied that way. Now that I know that they're better applied that way, obviously I'm gonna do that from now on, but they have shimmer shades that don't need to be applied that way, so I kind of wish these were like those, and I don't know why they weren't. That's kind of how I'm gonna leave it. Overall, I mean, this palette is just so adorable, and yes, I customized it, and I put my dog's name on there. I don't know if you guys saw that earlier, and I probably mentioned that earlier, I don't remember. But anyways, I mean, it's just so stinking cute. It's a rainbow palette. You know I love bright, colorful looks. It's got a really good sized mirror. It takes up half of the palette. I mean, come on. I love when palettes are like that. I don't like one, like, I mean, I don't always need a mirror. Of course I have my own mirror, but it is nice to have a big size mirror in a palette. And this just, you know, I like that it has that. The other things, so I did have the brushes. I totally forgot to use them in this video, so I'm gonna have to keep playing with those, but the style of them and the colors are just so cute, so pretty. Like, I just love the look of these. Like, look at how beautiful those are. And of course this, oh, I totally forgot to tell you guys, I used this little glitter part in my inner corner. I'll have to use this more, but this was kind of like a last minute decision. I wasn't really sure if I needed the whole collection, and I was like, well, I really like the brushes, I really like the palette, I guess I'll get this too. So yeah, definitely gonna have to play with things a little bit more, and you know, if you guys are interested in seeing a full review later, maybe doing more looks with this palette, just let me know, because I definitely need some more time to kind of figure out how I feel for sure about this palette before I tell you whether or not I recommend it or not, because right now I'm just not super thrilled with it. But I'm definitely like, and as always, after doing your first impression, I'm always like interested in using the palette more. I just have to learn and kind of see what works best and then go from there and really form my opinion. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.